Well, we're very happy and excited about being in the national tournament again. We're excited about playing the Gophers in the national tournament again. We're certainly excited about playing in this building. It's a fabulous building to participate in. It's a fabulous building to watch a game in. I've been here on a number of occasions in both ways. And I think it's just a great place to be. We were real excited. I think this is a pretty tough field that we're in here, but it's also a pretty great environment to be in. So we're excited about being here. We've had a long haul to get here. We've got a lot of ups and downs during the course of the year. And this team has been very resilient and worked hard to keep going and keep pressing on. And I think a lot that has to do with the two guys sitting next to me and our senior leadership and our two assistant captains. But certainly these two guys were key components to keeping us together and keeping us an ability to get into this tournament with a real good regular season record.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll open the floor for questions for our student athletes. Remember, please direct your questions to a particular student athlete. Thanks. In the front row.
Ariel Aronson, Daily Free Press. Chris, how's it feel to be back in Minnesota?
It feels great. Obviously, going out east, you never expect to make it back to your home state. You don't see very many of the Western teams. So when I saw the possibility of making it back out here for the regionals, I had my fingers crossed and just worked out that way. So it's good to be back.
In the back, Frank.
Frank Mazzocco, Gopher Sports Network. Chris, did you call Jack and get a scouting report on either the two WCHA teams? And how much did he tell you?
Not really. We just texted back and forth a little bit on how ironic the situation was that he was coming out to Mass and I was heading back to Minnesota. So we just kind of reminisced a little bit about that and the potential of seeing each other in Tampa. But no scouting reports really.
More questions for our student athletes. Roman.
This is for Chris. How did your parents decide where they're going to go this weekend, or what are they going to do?
They're actually going to make it down here. It's not that they don't want to see Jack play, but they're fortunate they've been able to see him play quite a bit over his 4-year career. So it's a nice, easy drive for them down 35, 2.5 hours. So the trip out to Worcester, that short notice can get pretty expensive. So it's nice for them to be able to come down. They've done that trip, I don't know, thousands of times now, I'm sure.
In the front again.
And Kieran, this is your first time back in the NCAA since your freshman year. How does it compare for you?
Well, it's obviously exciting, getting the opportunity to come play against top quality schools again. Missing the tournament the last 2 years was obviously a big disappointment for our teams, knowing that at the start of the year it's one of our main goals is to put ourselves in a position to get into the tournament regardless of the Hockey East tournament. So obviously it's a pleasure to be back here, and it's tough to relate to our freshman year since we knew we were going to be in the tournament for so long. This year we had to battle a lot harder through a lot of adversity, and it's obviously an accomplishment for our team to get here, but we know that being here isn't what we're here for. We're here to win, so hopefully this weekend goes well and we can make it to Tampa.
I thought it looked pretty good. We could get the puck up the ice pretty well, and once we're in the zone, we moved it around. Of course, our guys know exactly what we're trying to do with the penalty kill, so it's a little bit more difficult to go against them. But I'm sure Minnesota has scouted our power players, we've scouted theirs, and their tendencies are right down on our tendencies now. So. But in general, the power play has been a big part of our success all year long, up until our recent outage, so to speak, when we haven't been going too well in the last 2 or 3 games. So we're hoping to be able to turn that around. Power play and penalty kill, special teams are always huge in these type of games. So. We'd like to be able to stay out of the box, number 1, and number 2, see if we can take advantage of any power plays we get.
Yes.
Coach, it looked like you were moving Santana up to the 3rd line today in practice. Is that something you plan on keeping for the game?
Yeah, well, he played there. We moved him around a little bit, so he's back there now. We'll have Cisse back in the lineup, so he'll play with Gaudette and Rosen, so that line will remain intact too. I don't really consider one the 3rd line, one the 4th line. They're both pretty equal.
More questions from the floor? Oh, in the back. Sorry.
Coach, Zach Schneider, KBR TV. Can you talk a little bit more in depth about Chris, just what he's meant to this program over the past 4 years?
Well, he come in as not a highly recruited player. His brother was more highly recruited, I think Jack was, than Chris. we were very fortunate that he was available. We had lost a guy in the summertime to a pro signing, and we knew we had a scholarship available the following year. And it was a little late this day and age, and we saw him playing in for Omaha in the Buck Bowl, the kickoff tournament. It was called the Buck Bowl in those days, I believe. And we were really impressed with him, and we thought we were very fortunate he was still around and available to us. And we brought him in for a visit. When we brought him in, you really get to know him a little bit in that 48-hour visit. And he obviously is a great kid. We were talking about what he brings to the table, his quickness, his speed, his hockey sense. And one of the things that was mentioned was, he'll probably be captain of the team when he's a senior. He's that type of kid, and he certainly is. He brings everything you want in a senior, in a leader, and a captain of a team. I think leadership is earned by respect, and he's got the respect of every one of his teammates because he does everything the right way. He's a good student. He's a good citizen. He's a good teammate. He's a good player. He's a guy that works harder than anybody else in practice. He shows the way that way. He's really enthusiastic in games. He gets the team going in games. He's a good leader in the dressing room as well. So he's in every aspect of it. You could say this kid. We could tell from day one he was going to be an important part of the team, skill-wise, but also an important part of the team, leadership-wise. And we're very fortunate to have him as our captain in a year that was put a lot of pressure on the captain, so to speak.
Frank?
Jack, would you discuss the field a little bit, how difficult you think this region is compared to the other three?
Well, I think that when we saw I thought we were going to be in this field from the night before. I kind of picked it. U.S. College Hockey picked it. The only difference I had is I had Western Michigan and Michigan State switched. That was the only difference I had, but I had everything else the same. It was pretty simple to pick, I thought. And when it came out on Sunday, people thought, "Wow, that's a tough field. That's a tough field." Yeah, there's some brand name hockey teams here, and some brand name coaches here, and some great history here. And boy, that's a tough field. It is, but Worcester's a tough field, and Bridgeport's a tough field, and Green Bay's a tough field. There's a lot of great hockey teams. There's 6 or 7 schools that are not in this tournament that could be here. That would be people would consider a team that could win this tournament. So, I think it's more exciting, and it looks like a tougher field because it's North Dakota and BU and Minnesota. What we refer to out east as brand name college hockey teams. But I think that you can't discount how good Miami has been of late. You can't discount how good BC is every year. They're a brand name college hockey team. You got a team like Union who was in the tournament last year and the best team in the ECAC this year that nobody knows how good they are. And I don't think anybody knows how good Western Michigan is, except the people in their own league. So I would say if you look at it, geez, that's a tough draw. That's a tough draw right there. And I'd agree with you. Playing the Gophers in their backyard is a tough draw. Playing North Dakota anywhere is a tough draw. Playing BC anywhere and playing Union anywhere and playing Miami anywhere, those are tough draws too. This is quite a field with a great balance, I think. So I think anybody who gets to the Frozen Four is going to have to earn it. And nobody's going to earn it any more than anybody else, I don't think.
Any more questions? Okay. Seeing none, Coach.